everyone, this is The Last Word and I'm Maria Shakil. Some political respite in Jammu and Kashmir's season of discontent. The India bloc has agreed to a seat-sharing formula with a friendly contest on 5 seats. The bigger partner, that is the National Conference, will be contesting on 51 seats, while the junior partner, the Congress, will fight on 32 seats. The Union Territory goes to polls, remember, after a decade traversing treacherous political terrain. The BJP issued its list of candidates only to withdraw it after protests broke out in Jammu. A revised list was issued in 2 tranches of 16 candidates. The outsider versus core BJP tussle has made the BJP perhaps revisit its list of candidates. Let me go straight to Srinagar, where my colleague Nazir is joining us live, and he has the former Jammu and Kashmir Chief Minister Omar Abdullah with him.
Well, Maria, it was a day of twists and turns in politics. On both sides of the Pir Panjal in Jammu and the Srinagar, where a lot of political drama was happening. And here in Srinagar, it was the Congress National Conference Alliance. During the day, it looked like alliance prospects have collapsed. Congress leaders, after 2.5-hour meeting with Farooq Abdullah and Omar Abdullah, they left this place and said they may be talking to their high command, and it looked like deal is now collapsed. Let me talk to Omar Abdullah, who was part of these negotiations. Did you actually feel sometime that it is now too difficult?
Look, it wasn't easy. But then we didn't expect it to be easy.
Okay.
We have not had a pre-poll seat-sharing arrangement in Jammu and Kashmir since the late 80s.
Okay.
For the National Conference, for me, I mean, I'm now, 25 years in politics.
Okay.
This is the first time I have had any negotiations for a seat-sharing arrangement. Coupled with the fact that we haven't had assembly elections in J&K for 10 years.
That's correct.
This was never going to be easy, but all credit to the negotiators of the Congress and the National Conference, we reached where we are.
We were actually covering it there. You were inside having these hard negotiations with the Congress leaders, K.C. Venugopal, Salman Khurshid, others. But the sense we could get from outside, that Congress actually was not willing. They went there, they talked their high command. Was there any intervention from Rahul Gandhi, Sonia Gandhi, or Malik?
So, no, none whatsoever. Whatever conversations Mrs. Gandhi may have had, Rahul may have had, or Khargeji may have had, those were only with their own leaders. At no point in time did Farooq Saab or I try to bypass the Congress and go directly to their leadership, which would have been totally incorrect. Mm-hmm. I would have reacted very badly if they had bypassed me and gone to my people, the Congress. Mm-hmm. So we didn't do that either. Our negotiation was only with the people who were here.
Okay. Last week when Rahul Gandhi and Mallikarjun Kharge came here and had 1 hour long meeting with you, that time it was seen as a done deal. So what went wrong?
I think that announcement was a little premature.
Okay, you say.
I think there was a little bit of enthusiasm that was somewhat misplaced. Okay. Because even at that time, we knew that there were seats that we were not in agreement over. Okay. And I think it was the same day, later in the day, I spoke to some press people. Okay. And I told them that, look, there are seats on which we are still to agree. Where Congress is adamant or where National Conference is adamant. And it took us a few days to narrow those differences.
Okay, who mooted this idea of these friendly contests on 5 seats, which was actually a bone of contention in the way of this?
Look, I would rather not go into sort of details of one of the I think the biggest plus points that I see of our discussions was that none of these discussions took place through the media.
Okay.
Neither National Conference nor Congress went out and leaked or tried to build pressure. And therefore, I think what was said inside should remain inside.
Okay. So what does this alliance means for you? What is and for the politics here and this election?
Well, obviously, for one, it means that the secular forces and the 2 oldest parties National Conference and Congress will fight together, with 2 seats shared with 2 of the other smaller units here. That's obviously the biggest story from this. But for us in the National Conference, one of the other things for us that was important was perception management. If you remember, a few days ago, the Jammu and Kashmir High Court gave relief to Dr. Farooq Abdullah in the ED matter of the cricket board. And after that, our opponents here started spreading that this was a fixed match with the BJP and that we had done some deal with the BJP, and that is why Farooq Saab got relief from the court. So for us, an alliance with the Congress became even more important, so that perception of some sort of underhand deal with the BJP, we could remove that perception.
So you talked about BJP, there should not have any perception, but the perception within BJP was not so great today in Jammu after they actually issued the first list of these candidates. So you must have known what is happening there in BJP. Will that have any impact on
I obviously kept half an eye on what was happening there. Most of my attention was focused here. I don't think it's any secret. All parties will face some dissension.
Okay.
It's going to happen. Even with us, I'm sure we will have some problems in some areas, as will the Congress and other political parties. This coming from the BJP actually was a big surprise for me, because the BJP touts itself as the most disciplined party in the country. For them to have furniture broken in their office and almost a riot-like situation was extremely unusual. But then I'm not surprised. When you suddenly change all your senior leaders, you're going to have a problem. And when you reward turncoats, you reward those who have left other parties and come and joined you.
And at least 3 colleagues, former colleagues of yours as well, who have got tickets in BJP today.
Chaliye. Good for them. But at what cost? Look at what's happened to the BJP for rewarding them.
Okay.
Look at the embarrassment. I have never seen a situation where the party has had to withdraw its list within 10 minutes and then put out a truncated list. But this is what happens when turncoats go. Ho jata hai.
So when are you releasing the list of your candidates?
I think first phase should come out today and subsequently the rest will come out. But all our candidates have telephonically been informed.
Okay. And also your candidature, that is also an important thing. Pehle you said na na karke, fir haan kiya.
No, I mean, I think it's important to understand why why the mindset changes. I'm not getting into the powers of the Chief Minister and all that. I'm purely talking from the point of view of the Assembly. I, perhaps late, but better late than never, have been made to realize, more from listening to people than from my own sort of wisdom, that it is hypocritical, or definitely would be seen as hypocritical on my part, if I was to tell people that I don't believe in this Assembly, but you must vote.
Okay.
Or if I was to tell my candidates that I don't believe in this Assembly, but you go and take the mandate and fight. Ultimately, if I believe I am a leader of the National Conference, then I must lead.
But you have to lead from
Then I have to tell people that, look, whatever may be the flaws of this Assembly, it is still better than what we have now. This Assembly may not be the Assembly that it was in 2018. But it is still an Assembly that will speak for them, that will fight for their rights. And also, this is an Assembly that will bring back the statehood of Jammu and Kashmir. We'll make a start from there. Let's see where we go.
Last question, Umar Saab. Jamaat Islami members are also fighting this election. Will that make any change, or are you happy with that? Or you say, because it's a banned organization, it is not fighting as an organization, but individuals are fighting?
I think it's an important development. An organization that spent the last 30 plus years telling the people of Kashmir that elections are haram, that they should not participate in elections, that was talking about Jammu and Kashmir not being a part of India, is today willing to take the same oath on the Constitution of India that mainstream political parties have taken. This is a huge development. Let's see now what happens.
You welcome it?
Look, I was hoping that the ban would be lifted and they would be able to fight on their own symbol. But chaliye, if not that, let them come as independents.
Thank you very much, Mr. Omar Abdullah, for giving your time so NC Congress deal is done, finally. It's second time they are saying deal is done, but last week's announcement, Omar Abdullah says was bit premature, which was made by Farooq Abdullah. So now finally NC is contesting on 51 seats, Congress 32 seats, CPIM and Panthers Party on 1 seat each, and there would be 5 seats which we have to look out for, where there will be a friendly contest between the National Conference and the Congress in Jammu and Kashmir.
Nazir Masoodi, thank you so much for getting us that big newsmaker top of the show. Let me bring in the other guests now. RP Singh, spokesperson of the BJP, Amitabh Dubey representing the Congress, Ifra Jan, spokesperson of National Conference, and Neerja Chaudhary, senior journalist. Amitabh Dubey, it wasn't supposed to be an alliance, then alliance collapsed, then alliance was sealed. So certainly there was a lot of backroom negotiations that went into ensuring that the Congress and the National Conference come in together in the first of its kind pre-poll alliance, which is happening in the valley since 1980s, as Mr. Omar Abdullah himself was pointing out. But why have a friendly contest at all on these 5 seats?
You know, if you look at the process, it was a little extended, but we have an agreement. As you pointed out, there are 5 seats where we will have friendly contests, but on the majority of seats, we have complete agreement on who will fight where with our other allies as well. I think the real drama was actually happening in the BJP, where obviously they produced a list of candidates and then, as Omar Saab said, withdrew it in 10 minutes and then came up with 2 other lists that were shrunken. And so this is obviously an example of how the top-down rule in the BJP has antagonized their rank and file and their workers and their leaders. It's a repeat of what we've seen in the last couple of years at the national level. So I think the real drama and the real story we should be looking at is what's happening with the BJP rather than this smooth process.
Okay, so RP Singh, you know, visibly, certainly, they had a very, very smooth process in which the National Conference and Congress deal has been sealed. The entire seat sharing formula has been announced while you are still dealing with internal rebellion and concerns and protests happening in your state. The question is that, is there a disconnect between Delhi and Jammu?
Well, there's another dimension to this. One is that they are fighting as friendly fight on the 5 seats, which clearly shows that all is not well within NC and Congress also, one. Secondly, as far as their manifesto also go, NC has released a manifesto that they want to get 70-35A. Congress has to clarify that, whether they are for it or not. Secondly, they say that they want the Kashmir has a separate flag for Kashmir. They need to tell that they want that to happen or not. They want pre-1965 status for Kashmir. They need to tell whether they want a pre-1965 status for Kashmir. They want the militants or the terrorists.
But RP Singh, let's talk about what happened today in your party.
Can I please? So yes. They need to, you said all is well, so they need to tell whether all is well on these subjects or not. So I seriously doubt all is not well within Congress and NC also, because Congress has to take a stand on these subjects also. Whether they will give jobs to the family of the terrorists, whether they will release all the stone pelters. So they need to come clear on these also. So
okay.
If they're so friendly, then they should be clarified also. As far as BJPs go, I mean,
yes.
We declared a list, which was a list for all phases, which was by mistake declared. The list has to be declared only for the first phase. And now the new list is only for the first phase. And you will see everything happening well within the party. We will contest and we will win within the rally also, and also
Neerja Chaudhary,
outside.
Of course, I mean, I certainly did not expect the BJP spokesperson to present the right picture, because these protests are presenting a different completely side of the story. But coming to you, Neerja Chaudhary, where does it leave the other big regional force in Jammu and Kashmir, the PDP? Where is Mehbooba Mufti?
Well, I think there's a very good question. Though she's part of the India Alliance, that alliance has not fructified. The Congress party was keen that the India Alliance party should fight together, but obviously the National Conference had reservations about that, and the Congress has formed an alliance, as we see. Now we'll see how much of a difference the PDP candidates make. Mehbooba Mufti's daughter, Iltija, is also going to be in the fray. And last time, the PDP were done very poorly, only just over 8% of the popular vote. But you know, Maria, what is significant? The mara-mari over tickets, that happens in every state of India. That it is happening also in Jammu and Kashmir. There is fierce fighting over tickets and how many the NC will have, how many the Congress will have. Finally, I mean, they walked out. Finally, they've sorted it out. Now, so also the furniture being broken at the BJP end. In 10 minutes, that list is withdrawn and then a new list is announced. That shows the importance being given to the elections and to the democratic process in J&K. The importance of J&K election lies not in who's going to win or who's going to lose. It lies in the mere holding of election. In the past, whenever, it was done in 1996, whether it was done in 2002, I remember Atal Bihari Vajpayee insisting that this should be a fair and free election. And the other side came to power and the BJP was down to one seat. And Mufti Muhammad Said formed the government. And so I think that provided the elections are free and fair, one hopes that it will restore the democratic process and lead to the normalization of the situation in a state that has been very troubled for too long. And I think we also hope this is the first step towards the restoration of statehood, which is the next step in, restoring what the people there want.
Okay, so Ifra, coming to you, the NC manifesto promises restoration of Articles 370 and 35A, while the Congress has skirted these issues. There is visible differences on these points, but certainly when it comes to seat sharing, both the sides have announced that the seat sharing formula has been, worked out and it is all done and dusted. But the larger question is, if PDP is part of India bloc, then why are they not part of the seat sharing? And we did not see Mehbooba Mufti in talks at all. So does it mean that, there were inherent differences from the word go?
You see, when India Alliance bloc fought the elections in the parliament together, it was the India Alliance that allotted the 3 Kashmiri seats to National Conference and 2 Jammu seats to the Congress based on the extensive ground survey that they had done. And eventually it turned out to be true also when you saw the PDP results eventually in the Lok Sabha election. And in spite of, and there were many political parties in India Alliance. There was Aam Aadmi Party, there was CPI, there was Shiv Sena, Thackeray faction. None of these political parties fielded an independent candidate or fielded their candidates. It was only the PDP in the recent parliament elections that openly went ahead and fielded its candidates in spite of the India bloc not giving the PDP any seats. So it was the PDP that walked out of this alliance in the parliament and not the National Conference, as is being in a way suggested that it was National Conference or any other political party that pushed them out. Nobody pushed them out. It was the PDP that walked out of the alliance by itself in the recent Lok Sabha elections. Now, coming to our manifesto and saying, how would you restore 370? It's a fight that we are going to take up in the Supreme Court. It is not common minimum program. It's National Conference's manifesto. As far as the state flag is concerned, Karnataka has a state flag. Will there be a common
minimum program before the election results, or should I say before the elections actually begin?
You see, I think it will eventually come out if and after the government is formed. But when it comes to the state, for example, the state flag, Karnataka has a state flag. When it comes to reservation of jobs, I mean, Haryana recently reserved all jobs, 70% of the private jobs for locals. Assam reserved it. So I don't know why it becomes anti-national when somebody from Jammu and Kashmir says the same thing that many other states are doing.
Okay.
Coming to this constant attack by the BJP that they're fighting alone. The last point is they are not fighting alone. They have a web of proxy political parties in Jammu and Kashmir. Their chief, Ravinder Rana Saab, recently in the election announced openly, he said that in Kashmir, it's a bat and ball that is going to be the symbol of BJP. It's just that the National Conference and the Congress have openly announced it. The BJP has created thousands.
Okay, so let's
of
ask what is going to
candidates
be
in
what
Jammu
is
and
going to be BJP's road ahead. You did have a government with PDP, with Mehbooba Mufti. Is there a possibility of some kind of understanding, Mr. R.P. Singh?
Well, by that parameter, even NC was part of the NDA at one given time. But
No,
now
but with alliance with PDP was something which happened during Prime Minister Modi's tenure.
Well, again, I said on same parameters, and even National Conference was part of the NDA at given time, and Mr. Abdullah was the minister in the central government. But that point aside, we decided to go alone. We are going alone in the valley, and in the we have declared the list of the valley candidates also, and also in the Jammu region also. And we are sure that people of Jammu Kashmir can see through the concept of the Nya Kashmir, where people can see the progress happening, and not the hartals and the patharbaji and the stone pelting and the other activities which are declared every now and then. So people can see through this, and I'm very hopeful that people will vote for the progress of the state and progress along with the country, and not taking the state away from the country.
No, but how are the two, how have you come to this conclusion that there will be patharbazi if this alliance actually gets a number?
Well, please ask them, in their manifesto they have said that they are going to release all stone pelters. I mean, they have said so, and then they were the one who said that we won't fight a contest election till that time 370 and 35 come back.
Will you respond to that?
Can I complete, please?
Yes, please. Go ahead, Mr. R.P. Singh.
So they said that they will not contest election till the time 370, 35 come back. And they boycotted the Panchayat election also initially. But later on, when they saw the result of the Panchayat election, then they started participating we are welcoming that. They started participating in DDC election, and they faced the tune in the DDC election. We were 74, Congress was 21, and if I rightly remember, NC was 57. So we made our inroads on ground also.
Okay,
but
quickly.
Fact is, they can.
Amitabh Dubey and Ifra, 30 seconds to both of you, and then the last word to Neerja Chaudhary.
This is an attempt, this is a continuous attempt by the BJP to muddy the waters. It's very clear when the BJP made a deal with the PDP manifesto had all sorts of things about trade with Pakistan, using the Pakistani rupee in the valley and so on. Did the government actually adopt those policies? No, they operated on the basis of a minimum program, which is what we and the National Conference will do. We will have our manifesto. They already have theirs. And when the government is formed, it will have a policy agenda, which will be very clear and consistent with the constitution of the country. The issues are not this. The issues are electricity shortages in Jammu and Kashmir, water shortages in Jammu and Kashmir, the taking away of the rights of the people and being given to the LG so that you have
so
a
real issues you are saying are top on people's mind. Ifra?
3 quick points. When, he talked about the elections in 2018, which we boycotted, both R.P. Singh did not say that Ram Madhav Saab came to Jammu and Kashmir and announced what was called a BJP front, where political parties like the PC and other independent candidates came together. As I said, they always rely on proxy political parties. It happened in 2018 also. Second point, he talked about stone pelters. What he did not say is that it was the PDP-BJP government that gave one-time amnesty to all stone pelters and literally let them out. Third thing, what he talks about everything in our manifesto, which is not even there, but why do you not focus on how our manifesto is Kashmiri Pandit?
Okay, R.P. Singh, do you want to respond 30 seconds quickly on that?
Kashmiri Pandit, that talks about their rehabilitation. That talks about how...
Yes, please, go ahead. R.P. Singh, 30 seconds, please. Go ahead.
Well, will Ishra tell about that Farooq Abdullah Saab's statement that the Indian army is in collusion with the terrorists across the border? And then Congress also need to come clear on this, whether they stand by this statement or not of Mr. Farooq Abdullah. Will they tell what Mr. Farooq Abdullah has said, that China can go in Kashmir better and we'll appreciate it, that China should come and go in Kashmir? Or probably they have the understanding inside, because Mr. Rahul Gandhi has already signed a document with Communist Party of China, agreement with Communist Party of China, and they probably both are doing the China line today, trying to throw the China line in India also. So they need to come and clarify all these questions also. They need to come clear on these subjects.
Okay, Neerja, the fact is that the two mainstream parties of Jammu and Kashmir, that is the National Conference and the People's Democratic Party, which is the PDP, have done business with the BJP and the Congress at the center, but they have rarely, in fact, that has seldom happened that they have fought elections together. Is that what we are seeing play out even this time? Because You know, it's all very well to send that message during Lok Sabha polls, but when it is coming to the assembly elections, it is about their own presence because these are regional parties, regional players.
I think, you know, given the downswing of the PDP, as I said last time, the NC does not think it needs to share tickets with them, the PDP. And I think the fight is going to be the Congress versus the BJP in the Jammu region, where the BJP had got 25 seats last time, 10 years ago. And the fight is going to be between the regional parties in the valley. Now, what is, as I said earlier, who wins, who doesn't, things will get clearer once the nominations are filed, the alignments get firmed up, tacit or otherwise. But what is marvelous to hear, Maria, is the, you know, the charges, counter charges, attack, counter attack, the cacophony of Indian elections also in J&K after a whole decade.
Yes, something that we saw during the Lok Sabha polls. You know, record turnout, voter turnout, long queues. That was very heartening, Neerja.
Yes, almost 58 plus people voter turnout. But with Vidhan Sabha election, where they elect their government, that is happening after a decade.
Yes.
And that's you know, that trading of charges and counter charges, RP and all the others, it's marvelous to hear all that.
Yes, and all of us will be in Srinagar soon covering this election. So thank you so much for your time here. Ifra Jan, Neerja Chaudhary, Amitabh Dubey and RP Singh. We are putting out this entire discussion and of course that big exclusive that Nazir Masoodi got with Omar Abdullah on NDTV.com. That's all from me. Thanks so much for watching.